Okay. Thank you, Chris, for sharing your story. Now, John and Holly, would you like to share your story with me?
Of course. I'll chime in first and kind of give the outline of all of our concerns that we have today. So, basically, there have been a number of reports that the company has been receiving going on for several months now concerning Chris's behavior, claiming that his behavior has altered and hasn't been consistent with what it typically is or was before this issue. He's been withdrawn and doesn't fully participate in meetings. Some reports just straight out say that he's been acting strangely. Reports also say that he's been seen inebriated while at company events, and this happens often. So very unprofessional. They also say that he has started making disparaging comments, especially while inebriated at these events. So the company's reputation is at stake here. Reports like this could damage the good name of the company, definitely. So over the past few months, Chris has started traveling more. The company could not reach him by phone, so they had no clue of where exactly he was or what he was up to, how he was making use of his time overall. The travel extended beyond that was budgeted within the company's budget set for him. He would come back to town and not come to work for a couple of days. No one could get a hold of him. And because of all of this, sales have declined. Attempts were made to discuss this with Chris, but they were dismissed by him. The company has a budget, and it is important that added expenses are coordinated because all finances are very important. It's important to keep track of all of that. This business has lost 2 contracts in Chris's area during the past 3 years. Reports say Chris takes off and tells no one. The company has had meetings scheduled that they have had to cancel because Chris hadn't showed up. A company can't be successful without predictability of its officers' attendance, obviously. Business reviewed the situation. They recognized the contribution Chris has made over the previous years, but felt it necessary that for future success of the company to remove Chris from this business. How can they hold other employees accountable if they excuse Chris's performance and conduct? The company has tried to talk to Chris, but we've gotten no benefit out of this. He doesn't seem interested in discussing the matter. So the company, of course, is required to follow the ADA, but that does not require the company to accept poor performance or conduct from anybody. Accommodation does not excuse accountability for the company's standards. So, John, if you'd like to add in anything else.
I probably shouldn't, but, I asked Holly to do the intro because I do have a little emotion. And, as much as I try to set it aside, I listened to the opening statement, and Chris said something, I even wrote it down here. It says, I think that captures so much of this. I take off a couple of days. I take off a couple of days. Wouldn't we all love to take off? I mean, wouldn't we all just love to not show up for work? We have business meetings. I have staff invited. Everybody's sitting around waiting, looking at the door. Well, is Chris going to be here today? Is Chris not going to be here today? It's very embarrassing. And just imagine if customers are around and they see that. It's like, I take a couple of days. Sales have gone down. We're tracking that they continue to go down. And we have suppliers, we have customers, and they look at a company and what they see is weakness. When companies are weak, other people look and see weakness, you start losing your customers. Suppliers start trying to raise prices, all sorts of things, because then they believe they're in a little different position. And weak. We look weak because of his sales. Weak, now that's a good word. So our sales are going down. He's traveling. I have no idea what he's doing. Why can't get a hold of him? Weak. So what does he do? Oh, I have anxiety. Hey, so the whole excuse is he's weak.
Excuse me, let me interject.
What?
Christy, Holly, are you all going to allow this? I just want to say this. First off, John, a disability is not considered weak. It's a disability. And Holly, you and I are both professionals, and we're all aware of the formal complaint that has been filed with the EEOC. And you all are speaking about brand and company reputation. And you and I could probably agree that a company discriminating against an associate based on his disability tarnishes the brand of that company. So let's keep that in mind, okay?
And let's try to keep it where let's let John finish, okay? Thank you, John.
It's just weak. It just
Weak. I got your weak right here.
Please.
see weakness. Companies have budgets. We have to live within our budget. He travels, spends more money than he's given. You can't, if you're going to spend more money than you're given, pick up the phone. It's called common courtesy. I need more money. I'm going to be on a trip longer than I anticipated. We can't have to go to accounting only to find out, oh, now we can't fund some other trip because Chris has spent more money and hasn't told anyone. It's called being in business. It's called common decency to call somebody and tell them what you're doing. None of that. And then reputation. Henry had built his company from the ground up, and he built it on a reputation of openness and honesty with customers and suppliers. Now they begin to see, my God, with the own leadership that is supposedly family, here we are, and he's tearing the company apart. Destroying our reputation. There's reports of drinking at parties, and then what's he do? He starts saying disparaging things about his own company at the parties.
That's a little
And
crap.
that stuff gets around. It's been reported, and that stuff gets around, and it's destroying our reputation. And without a reputation, what else do you have? You're a company with no reputation in the market. And he talks about anxiety. What does he think that Henry and I feel? You want to talk about anxiety. I'm the one that has to sit up and worry about if he's going to go over budget. I'm the one that has to sit and worry about, is he going to show up for a meeting? I'm the one that should be filing a complaint. It's a situation. And then you take, it's even embarrassing to talk about it. We have a couple of employees that aren't producing in sales. So I stopped to talk about it. Hey, you got to get your performance up. And they roll their eyes. They don't even have to say it. It's tacit. We know what's being said when they roll their eyes. When they roll their eyes, they're saying, what about Chris?
Really
What
think that
about Chris?
John.
They're all saying, what about Chris? How do I can't even take them in the office and counsel them because I'm not doing my job with Chris. So I can't take care of the company till I take care of him. I mean, I don't want to. He and I worked together very, very hard, raised sales like 35% over a few years. And all of a sudden, in the last couple of years, he just fell off the cliff, and he's dismantling this company brick by brick. And I'm sitting back watching the bricks fall. It's like, wait a minute, I put too much of my life in this company. I didn't fall off the deep end. He fell off. So if he wants to, walk away, that's fine. And really, he's walking away because what we're doing is based on his actions, not our actions. So it's just a situation that cannot continue if we're to stay in business as a company. It just can't. And Holly, I know you told me not to say all this, but I know you counsel me, but there's just too much emotion here. I care about this company too much to sit there and watch him knock brick after brick off the wall. Just too much. Too much.
Thank you for sharing that. Is there anything else you feel I should know?
Oh, I could share for hours. I mean, I have more stories, longer than we have set aside for this mediation. But for sake of the process and sake of this, I'll just leave it what I said. I probably said too much, but.
Okay. So let me just restate what I heard from you. You're feeling that Chris's behavior is having a direct impact and direct negative impact on the family business.
Yes.
Okay. And that this impact that his behavior is given the company a bad reputation. That there's words coming in that he's appearing inebriated or saying negative things about the company in professional settings.
Absolutely. The fact he filed this complaint, just think when that leaks out, what that's going to look like. Yes.
And you also mentioned that you've tried to reach out to him and been unsuccessful in doing so.
Yes, I've tried to talk to him a number of times. Holly's tried to talk to him. He won't return her calls.
And you're also suggesting that the sales have declined for contracts that were supposed to be in his area. And so you're relating very specific business deals that have been negatively impacted and lost because of Chris's behavior.
Yeah, we believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, John, for sharing. I feel at this time it'll be appropriate for us to meet privately. Emotions are high. So I think we will be able to share more. I'll be able to get more information. If you'll allow that, can both of you agree for me to meet with each of you privately? Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes. All right. And then during that time I'm meeting with one, the other parties can take a break and do what you need to do, make phone calls. And when they're finished, it'll be your turn. If you don't mind, I'll start with Chris, and then we'll swap out.
Okay.
Is that okay?
We go out. Are you going to phone us? Are you going to come out and get us?
I'll come out and get you when we're finished. Yes.
Okay. Do you have any idea how long it's going to be?
I don't.
Okay.
We've agreed to set a time, set as much
Are we
time
okay?
needed to.
We okay with it?
Perfect.
Okay. Because we've agreed to set as much time needed to try to reach a resolution here, and I feel that's important. So let's do that.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.